how do I keep people engaged with me while I'm talking to them? Zaid, one of the easiest ways to create engagement is vocal variety and body language. As I create more visual variety for you, it engages you visually. As I use more vocal variety, I'm able to keep you engaged vocally and auditorily. Can you see the importance of that? Whereas if I switch both of those things off, if I talk to you like this and I switch off all of my body language and I switch off all of my vocal variety, do you notice how it's really easy for you to lose attention? But if I switch all of that back on and I start to use my body language, I start to use my vocal variety, I'm able to, at the most basic level, hold your attention better. I'm able to engage you better. That's the power of using your voice, and that's the power of using your body language. And at that foundational level, if you just mastered that, you'll be able to hold people's attention for extended periods of time. How do I stop myself from overthinking in day-to-day communication? Overthinking means that we're not present. All right? I think when we're not present, then we live in our own heads a lot. And I think a really pragmatic way to get out of your head is by actively listening. And I think when you're actively listening, it forces you to be present and it forces you to focus on the other person. So I would take that approach. Actively listen. And remember, you can listen with your eyes, you can listen with your ears, you can listen with your heart, right? There's so many different ways to listen because you can listen to the words, the emotions, vocal changes, and body language. And by really taking that focus out of your own head and placing it into the person that's in front of you, I think that's going to help you really become present and also help remedy overthinking. In terms of helping with relationships, I sometimes struggle knowing what to say during the right times. How can I work on honing the contents of my speech when it comes to relationships? And I feel like this is about personal relationships. And hopefully I'm making the right assumption here. One of the most incredible books that helped me improve my relationships with people I care about is a book called 5 Love Languages. So love languages. And when you read that book, it highlights one of the most powerful lessons that I've ever learned in my life. You know the golden rule in life where people say, treat others how you want to be treated. I get the logic in that. However, when you spend a moment and you review and you reflect on that deeper, you realize that treat others the way you want to be treated, that philosophy is flawed. Why would you treat other people the way you want to be treated? Are other people you? No, other people are other people. You are you. And are other people different to you? Yes. Yes, everyone's different. If everyone's different, why would I treat you the way I want to be treated? Shouldn't I treat you the way you wanted to be treated? Again, shouldn't I treat you the way you want to be treated? Why would I treat you the way I want to be treated? And I'm saying this a lot of the times because I want this to get really clear for you. And when I learned this in combination with the book 5 Love Languages, that just made me realize that there are overall 5 different ways that people like to be treated. Right? And just to go through some of them right now, some people really care about words of affection. Some people really love words of affection. I love this. Okay, so I'm a words of affection guy, right? Some people really love touch. Some people love to be embraced. But you notice how some people just don't like to be hugged? It's real. They exist. And some people love gifts, right? They love gifts. Gifts light them up. And for some people as well, some people really care about quality time. Everyone's different. Everyone's got a different love language. And when you learn that you should treat other people the way they want to be treated, and you also at the same time learn all about these different love languages, that gives you the ultimate hack ever. Because when you can identify someone's love language, that means you can speak to them in the language they want to be spoken into. So if I identify that you and your love language is quality time, instead of just giving you hugs all the time and saying you're doing a great job, I'm going to say to you, hey, how about we schedule in a couple of hours next week where we have lunch together? How's that sound? And they're going to say, oh my goodness, Vin, that would be amazing. Yes. But then imagine I didn't realize that and I just kept saying, hey, come here, come over here. And I give you a hug and I say, hey, great job, you did great. All right, I've got to go to work, see you later. That person's going to feel like you don't love them. All of a sudden, when I learned about the 5 love languages, that has helped me level up my relationships dramatically. Otherwise, I'd be speaking French to you and you don't speak French, you speak German. And I wonder, why can't I connect with this person? It's so weird. So that to me was one of the ultimate hacks that has helped me build a really strong foundation in all of my relationships. And how do I turn small talk into deep conversations with friends and strangers? Everything in a conversation starts with small talk, right? When you're first meeting people for the first time, when you meet strangers, you've got to start with small talk. People hate small talk, but small talk has a really important role in public conversations when you're meeting new people. When you're meeting new people, imagine you just went to them and go, tell me, what is the saddest moment of your life? Go. It's going to creep people out. No, you don't start there. You start with a simple, how's your day gone? Right? What's the most exciting thing you've done today? Right? You can start with these ones, and it depends. For some people, they're not even comfortable with that second one. I'm not afraid of that second one. But if you are, it's okay. It's okay. You're unfamiliar with it. I'm way more familiar with it, so I'm not afraid of those questions. But I would say is start with, hey, how's your day gone? Right? And if they're your friend, then you can deepen that by going after that question. You can say, hey, so tell me now. Now you're at the mid-level of the conversation. You can say, hey, what's the most exciting thing you've done today? Right, that's a mid-level question there. And then you can have a deeper level question there after they've answered that. You can say, hey, I've been thinking a lot. And share a moment with me. I'd love to know this. What's one of the moments in your life that has made you into who you are today? You know? Whereas if I started with that, it's too deep. Whereas notice how I start with something fairly shallow. How's your day going? And then I cut a little bit deeper. And the next level of depth is kind of saying to that person, hey, what's the most exciting thing you've done today? And as you ease into this conversation now and you're slowly moving to the deeper realm, now I'm not afraid to throw something out there that's a little more deep. It's a gradient. You slowly move into it and you slowly move out of it. That situational awareness is really important when you want to take conversations to a deeper place. And just acknowledge that sometimes people don't want to go to deeper places. And not to be mean, but sometimes for some people, they don't have that depth. And you're trying to search for something that's not there. And if they do have it, it takes time to build that up slowly. So maybe today you're willing to share with me at the deeper levels of conversation a really critical moment that has turned you into the person that you are. Right? And maybe we end there. Maybe after that we just end the conversation there and I share something, you share something. Great. The next time, again, you start superficial. You gradually get deeper. Maybe the next time you ask them, hey, in the last 12 months, what's the hardest thing you went through? What's something really difficult that you went through in the last 12 months? And then you can slowly get deeper, right? And then gradually as you get deeper, you can say, hey, when's the last time you cried? Right, that's a really deep question now. So you want to slowly take them deeper. You don't want to just immediately go to the depths of conversations. Otherwise it scares people. It scares people when you don't ease into it. Michael asks, any tips on connecting with people in group conversations where the topic being discussed are beyond you or uninteresting and you're feeling left out? In that particular situation, if you're in a group conversation and you're not really interested in the topic they're speaking about, I would actually no longer work hard to be involved in that conversation. I would probably exit that conversation and go talk to some other people where we can talk about things that I'm interested in. But if you really want to stay in that group and not want to feel left out, then maybe you want to be able to control the conversation and steer it into a direction where they're talking about something you are interested in. So if I was to do that, Michael, then I would just, first of all, respect the people in the conversation, let them talk about that conversation. And when there's this natural moment for when that topic has come to a natural conclusion, then I would suggest something else to talk about. Right? And there are these moments that you have to learn to recognize. So what I would do first as a first step into this process, Michael, is for the next couple of weeks, when you are in these conversations, start learning how to become really situationally aware of when topics come to a natural conclusion in a conversation. There are always these natural points in conversations where things come to an end. And you'll notice it because people start to go, yeah, I guess that's pretty crazy, isn't it? Okay. These are the sounds that people make. These are the kind of words that people tend to use when topics in a conversation kind of come to an end. It kind of starts to fizzle out. When people are first started talking about a topic, like maybe they start saying, "Oh my God, did you see that thing that happened on online with cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the ETFs that were finally approved? Damn, man, that was crazy. Hey, yeah, that was really crazy, man." Notice how this energy right now is really intense. You don't want to butt in at this point. And then gradually while they're talking, they'll go, "Yeah, man, that's crazy, but nothing really beats Dollar cost averaging, hey. Yeah, nothing really does beat that. It's really good. This is a wonderful opportunity. As you become more aware of these points in a conversation, you now can jump in and say, hey, I agree with you. I think DCAing is super important, and hey, I just wanted to ask you guys, have any of you guys seen this new series called and then you insert your change of conversation here because you want to talk about this new series that you've started to watch. And then you insert it. And you're testing the water. And look, at the end of the day, maybe they're not engaged with that. And you have to accept that. Maybe we need to find new friends that like the things we like, right? But if they do, maybe they go, yeah, I did see it. All of a sudden now you can talk about something different. And do you notice what I did there as well, Michael? Instead of just not contributing to what they're saying and switching gears straight away, once that kind of came to an end, I kind of say, hey, I really agree with you. I've tried to invest as well. And whenever I try to time the market, it's terrible. But I acknowledge what you said. Dollar cost averaging is one of the most important skills to learn in investing. And can I just ask you both a quick question? And I don't mean to just immediately switch on you, but have any of you seen this new series? But you notice what I did there is, again, I contribute a little bit to the conversation and then I switch gears. And that's a very nice, elegant way to do it because you're being respectful to the topic that was being spoken about before you switched it over to something you want to talk about.